Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be looking at the 2020 Lincoln Corsair, all new for 2020, and this is actually coming alongside with the new Ford Escape. Sadly, none have landed yet, but as soon as there is a Ford Escape, we will get a comparison between this vehicle and the Escape. But as always, we're going to do a quick walk around on the Corsair, and then we're going to take it out to see how it drives. A big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo, Utah, for providing us with the Corsair. Check out their inventory in the link below if you're in the market for a Ford or a Lincoln. Under the hood here of the Corsair, we have a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. You actually can also get a 2.3-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. In terms of fuel economy in this one, it's 21 around town and then 29 on the highway. So for the 2-liter 4-cylinder, you get 275 pound-feet of torque and 245 horsepower. Now for that 2.3-liter, it's 285 horsepower and 305 pound-feet of torque, all through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Obviously, you guys have seen the title of the video, and yes, this kind of looks like a baby Aviator. So I still have the Aviator parked over there, as you can see, and the similarities are striking. Everything just kind of like downsized here on the Corsair. So you can see it still has kind of like those same little lines on the top of the hood, and then you can see it's got full LED lights, still has a little turn signal thing just down below, parking sensors in the front, Lincoln signature front end grille, all these kind of like little chrome accents and everything. But like I said, it just literally looks like a little baby Aviator. So around the side here, we have two 25mm tires on the front and the rear, 19-inch rims, and just as always with the Lincoln, stylistically they look absolutely beautiful. You can see there's kind of like this little silver trim that goes down the side, Corsair on the side as well, and then we can finally pop out to the rear. Here's a key fob for the Corsair. It says Lincoln on the, or it doesn't say Lincoln, it has the Lincoln badge on the back. Got a couple functions, your lock and unlock, and then your tailgate release. So if we lock the Corsair and then you press that twice, it'll start it right up. Kind of hear that 2-liter 4-cylinder come to life. Press it again and it'll shut it off, and then if you press the other button just below it twice, that is for the tailgate release, and that'll open up the rear hatch. So in the rear of the Corsair here, you can see that you've got a little bit of extra storage with a tire underneath. It got a little 12-volt there on that side, a little extra storage on this side as well. It's actually pretty soft touch in general, but decent amount of storage space in the rear. This is to lower down the tailgate, so press that and it will lower back down the rear hatch. You can see that there's a full light bar in the rear, so full LEDs back here, Lincoln badging on the back, and then you got dual outlet exhausts, and still kind of has that same rounded off look that all of the Lincolns have. It's a really nice aesthetic in general. Going over to the rear of the Corsair, one touch to lock it, and then to unlock it, just put your hand on the back of the door handle. You can see the door panel here in the rear, so we've got this nice white leather here, and it's more of like a cream basically, color-wise to explain it better. So we've got this nice black trim above, a couple speakers for the sound system, window control, and more black trim. You can see the seats here in the rear, so full leather, nice perforations in them, and then you got this little cup holder that you can pull out, and then you can see you got heated seats here in the rear as well, so with some vents, and then there's a little charging station. Same keyless entry here in the front to lock and unlock it, and then you do get that little keypad on the side of the door. And by the way, mentioning the side, I love this side profile here on the Corsair. So you can see that they kind of do the floating roof line, so they make that little part back there black, and then obviously if you tinted all the windows super dark, not recommending it, just saying if you tint all the windows super dark, then the roof would be completely like floating. But anyways, let's actually go to the rear. So if we open up the door here, not the rear, the front, geez. Open up the door here, you can see there's more of that cream leather. You've got more of the black trim. All of your seat controls are right here. A couple more speakers for the sound system. Window controls right in that little area. It does have power folding mirrors. You got your lock and unlock. It does have memory seats, forgot to mention that. And then here are the seats in the front. So again, really beautiful. Lincoln's been killing it with their design on the seats. So full leather, nice perforations on them. Pedal layout is just down below. It has that double hood latch system on it, and then you've got all of your light controls right here in this area. Fog lights, that's for your tailgate release, and then the steering wheel is going to be automated. Start it up, just put your foot on the brake, push the push start, and then it'll start up and you'll get that signature Lincoln chime. Now over here on this side, we've got the multifunction steering wheel is what I want to call this. So you can see that depending on what you go into on the steering wheel will determine these little controls. The cruise control, you press that and then it'll illuminate things just like on the Aviator. And then you got all these voice commands here for Obviously Bluetooth, all that kind of stuff. You've got your stock here for turn signals, and then also your brights as well. Paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel to shift the gears yourself. And then there is the other stock in the other side for your windshield wiper, all that kind of stuff. We've got our gauges here, and they're a little bit more traditional. So you can see you've got your RPMs and then your speed, and then you've got that little center part, which you can kind of scroll through a couple different menus on this to get different bits of information on the vehicle. And then it's configurable in the sense that you can go like to navigation, you can go to music, all that kind of stuff just in this little center screen. Pretty good setup in general. Got our center touchscreen. You can see this is on the navigation. It says we are in Provo, Utah. And we can actually go to the camera system first and foremost. So you can see that you've got the camera, you do have parking sensors. It does give you a bird's eye view. And then you can see that there's a couple different camera views. So even though this isn't the fully loaded bad boy, you know, Lincoln Navigator or the Aviator, it still has the cool camera system on it. And then you can see the rest of the functions on the touchscreen. So if we go over to settings, you can see all the different stuff that you can actually customize. And by the way, the touchscreen isn't slow response time. It's just that this has plastic again over the touchscreen, so kind of gets in the way a little bit. But you can see that you've got your ambient lighting here, which I really like because there's a bunch of different color options you can choose from. And then what's also cool is you can see that you can adjust the seats here from the touchscreen, and really easy in general. I love how it shows you seat driver and passenger, so that's really easy to configure as well. A couple buttons down here, so that is your parallel and perpendicular parking assistance. Just down below it, you have the controls for like your auto hold, stop, start, all that kind of stuff that pops up on the touchscreen, and then that's for your camera system. Your gear selector is all in that little area, and like I said, it does have manual shifting, so you can shift with those paddles if you want to shift the gears yourself. Analog radio controls just down below that. Your analog climate controls, heated seats, heated steering wheel, and ventilated seats all come with this new Lincoln Corsair. So you can see you got a couple charging stations, and you can cover this up if you want. Drive modes, we'll go over that momentarily. You've got your cup holders, your parking brake. This is your little center console, again, covered with leather. You've got a bunch of felt on the inside. And then if we head over to the glove box, again, lined with felt, really nice in general, and it also has your owner's manual. So we've got our universal garage door openers up here. We've got a little sunglass holder. This one does have a full panoramic sunroof on top of that. The controls for that are right there. Other than that, they keep things pretty simple up top. Just wanted to wrap up things on the interior, talking about a couple more elements. I love the wood trim that they use here on the Corsair. It looks very beautiful, kind of wraps behind the touchscreen. Lincoln's been doing that design-wise, which I really like. And then they kind of continue the whole vent. So this is kind of like fake venting, but it continues like with the vents all around. So notice that they do these beautiful lines all throughout the interior to kind of bring everything together. But with that all being said, let's talk about pricing. So this Corsair, with all the options it has, stickers for just under $50,000 before any type of market adjustment, which is $25,000 less than the Aviator that I am going to compare this against later in the week, which is just absolutely crazy to think about. But that all being said, let's take the Corsair out to see how it drives. Before we fully set off here on the Corsair, let's talk about visibility. So you can see visibility over the hood. You can see visibility throughout both of the mirrors, and then the rear. Again, they make these windows really big, and it doesn't get in the way of the design on the outside. Obviously, it's a very beautiful car, but you can see it makes visibility throughout the Corsair very, very easy. So initially setting off here in the Corsair, let's talk about road noise and ride quality. And so far what I'm noticing is ride quality is very smooth, and the cabin's actually really well insulated. Like, it's kind of like a very nice, luxurious experience in general, which you expect that from Lincoln, but I'm just very impressed that they've done it with such a smaller sized SUV. Now let's talk about steering. So steering on it is very, very light and effortless in general. It's actually pretty direct. Because I won't be talking about this as much in the comparison to the Aviator, I will talk about this in this review. Steering wise, this doesn't feel as sporty, cannot talk, as the Aviator. It kind of feels just a little bit, it feels light, and this feels kind of like a more of a nimble vehicle in the Aviator, but the steering feel in general just doesn't feel as sporty, if that makes sense. Now let's get a little acceleration here with the Corsair. Once you get into those turbos, it's actually pretty quick. So obviously I would love to drive that 2.3 liter as soon as they get one in, so I can kind of compare it to this one. This power feels more than adequate, but just imagining this with even more power than what this Corsair has, sounds pretty exciting to me, and a 2.3 liter actually sounds pretty cool as well. To wrap things up with the Corsair, so I actually think this is a really good value in general. So obviously you're getting the luxury brand. This has a very luxurious driving experience. I know that I said that this doesn't drive as sporty as the Aviator, but if you don't really, most people don't buy SUVs for sporty driving. They buy them for the utility, you know, being able to do, you know, light off-roading, if that makes sense, and then also be able to take people around, all that kind of stuff, do well in inclement weather conditions. And so this is a really good package with that. And then on top of that, it's just getting a luxury brand for as inexpensive as this one is. I feel like it is a good deal, and you should check out this new Lincoln Corsair. There we have it, everyone. The 2020 Lincoln Corsair. Absolutely fantastic vehicle. I can't believe that this is $25,000 less than the Aviator. That is just astounding to me. But as always, if you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe, comment down below what you thought, and then again, a big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo, Utah for providing us with the Corsair. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in that next video.